Okay guys, usually for movie reviews I would get the green screen set up and do all of that, but honestly I just came back from Batman v Superman and I do not have the energy. I'm exhausted. I feel like this movie just beat me up. Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. Here's the spoiler-free version. There are good, even great parts and pieces to this movie. However, I cannot right now think of another major release that I have seen that is this poorly assembled and put together. That's your spoiler-free version, because at this point I'm just gonna rant and their spoilers will fly. Now when I say this thing is poorly assembled, very often in this film a scene will end and then the next scene will start and it's not immediately apparent what it is or why, and then you won't find out until about halfway into the new scene what is going on and why we're watching it. And you can get away with that a couple of times. This movie does that a lot. I lost count of how many times I sat there going, what in the hell is going on? And it doesn't help that so many complete threads of this thing just there's no reason for it to be there. They found nothing to do with Lois at all. Her entire thing with the bullet goes nowhere. Okay, that leads her to Lex Luthor, but she doesn't do anything with that. She doesn't tell Superman much of anything. I mean, Lex is tracking her and endangering her anyway, so she didn't need to know about Lex. That entire thread, stupid, pointless, drop it. Another thing, I feel like we missed a movie. There is a movie missing in this series. You know why? Because what I thought was happening, I think what everybody thought was going to happen, what the central conflict for Batman against Superman was going to be, was that it was going to be coming off the Battle of Metropolis. Batman saw this destruction, saw it firsthand, and look, that opening was wonderful, and it really established why Batman's going to have issues with Superman, because he sees on the ground level the destruction that is wrought by his very presence. And then we jump 18 months ahead, and Batman's not even doing anything about Superman. He's tracking this white Portuguese nonsense. And what's more, even the Senate hearings have nothing to do with Metropolis. They have to manufacture this new thing in wherever the desert thing is where he rescues Lois from. That is now an international incident. What happened in the 18 months that meant the world more or less forgave him for Metropolis and erected a statue in his honor? Because that also was clearly the period in which his relationship with Lois developed. Because we come in and obviously they've been dating for a while, but we never saw them build this relationship. Superman's now in this place of really heavy self-doubt, but we've never really seen him be in a place where that has any meaning, because he had only barely become Superman in the previous movie. Now he's all doubting himself, but where was the stretch where he was just going about and being heroic? We get one montage of it, which is a decent montage, but again, comes so late in the movie that it doesn't matter. He's already doing all the self-doubt stuff. Look, and a lot of people have said this already, most of the good stuff in this movie is Batman. Not just Ben Affleck's performance, which is great, but the best action scene is him going in that warehouse to rescue Martha Kent, and he's also the character who I understand the most. I understand his motivations the best. I understand what makes him tick. I don't understand the Superman. I'm not saying that in they deviated from the classic Superman way. I mean, I don't get him. I have never gotten to know him in the way that this thing needs to get me to understand him and care about him so that his death at the end has any meaning whatsoever. Not only do I have no idea who this Superman is, I have no clue who this Lex Luthor is. Why does he hate Superman? I have no idea. I don't know if it's general paranoia, if it is jealousy. He makes a railing thing against God. He's apparently got all these daddy issues, and none of it's adding to anything. None of it's going anywhere. He's got this completely out of left field behind jail's monologue thing where he's like implying worse things are coming or whatever, which seems to imply that he knows about Darkseid. Did he know about that before? Is that just because he linked up with the Kryptonian ship? I'll come back to that thing in a second. But regardless of when he learned it, that makes the whole idea of killing Superman seem just really dumb and make no sense. Because you'd think you would want Superman on your side if something worse is coming, and maybe I could have bought that he would want Superman dead anyway if I really understood what his motivation for wanting him dead in the first place was, and I really don't. Now, coming back to that ship, what Kryptonian technology? Seriously, if the people who crewed the ship are dead, just next person who walks in, you. I work for you now. I'll do whatever you say. What the hell? No wonder the Kryptonians couldn't think to evacuate their own planet when it was gonna blow up. The shoehorning in of the other Justice League members, like, literally, we are on our way to the titular battle, but let's pause the story and do basically 3 trailers for the next bunch of films in this series. And look, I'm obviously getting myself really worked up about this. Again, there are things that are good. I think the opening is wonderful. I think most of the Batman stuff is really, really good. Although I have to question, what was Batman's tactic for taking out Superman? He hits him with the kryptonite gas and then beats on him for a while. Why wouldn't he just hit him with the spear immediately? I mean, maybe I could buy it the first time, like you just want to see how long the kryptonite lasts, but if he was always going to spear him the whole time anyway, why not just spear him and get it done? And he's got the spear planted in the floor? How did he know he was going to get Superman down to the floor with that thing? Tactician my butt! This is a horrible plan. So even Batman, who's the best thing in this movie, he does not come away untainted. Now, he's not the only good thing in this movie. Wonder Woman is good. I'm not going to say she's great because I don't feel we get enough of her. The parts of her that we get, I like. What we get is not enough for me to go, woo! But I will say, I am intrigued to see her solo movie. Heck, I'm intrigued to see the Batman solo movie. I'm actually not uninterested in this world. I'm actually fairly interested to even excited to see all the various solo movies that'll come out of this. So I'm okay spending more time in this world. So, I mean, that's my positive takeaway. There are enough things that work that I'm not abandoning this cinematic universe. I am still interested or even eager to see a lot of what's going to come next. I was not a big fan of Man of Steel. I didn't hate it as much as some other people, but I understood what it was doing. And I think that in a large part, the thing with Man of Steel, it came down to a matter of personal opinion, like whether or not this was the Superman you wanted. Basically, so far as I can tell, half the people said yes, half the people said no. This one, I don't even think it's a matter of opinion. I know people are going to draw lines in the sand along those lines, but seriously, it's just a really badly assembled film. The pacing is wonky as heck. Scene transitions are for shit. So much stuff either never makes sense, or by the time it starts making sense, it's been going on so long that you're just frustrated with it anyways. This thing is just a mess. That is the best word that I can use. And there are ingredients and there are bits and pieces in the mess that are good, but that's still a mess. So Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, did you see it? Has it dampened your enthusiasm for future DC films? Has it bolstered your enthusiasm for future DC films? For me, it actually kind of did that, as much as I disliked this specific movie. I'll stick around. I think there is a lot of potential in this world. I am actually now oddly hopeful, despite really not enjoying this film. So there you go. That's my thoughts. Share yours down in the comments. Let's talk about it. Please feel free to like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at Council of Geeks. Check out the Council of Geeks podcast, which is available on iTunes and Stitcher. And until next time, this council is adjourned. Whew.